Most people assume the second half of the journey takes just as long as the first. It doesn't. And once you see the math behind why, you'll realize that everything you've built up to $500,000 was just the warm-up. Here's the belief that holds most people back. It took me 20 years to reach $500,000. It'll probably take another 20 to reach $1 million. Same effort, same speed, same grind. That logic feels reasonable. It's also completely wrong. Because wealth doesn't grow in straight lines, it compounds. And at $500,000, you've built enough mass for compounding to start doing something most people never experience firsthand. It starts working for you, not just alongside you. Here's what that looks like in real numbers. At $500,000, a conservative 7% return generates $35,000 a year. At 8%, that's $40,000. At 10%, it's $50,000. That's before you add a single dollar yourself. So instead of starting each year from zero, you're starting with $35,000 to $50,000 of automatic growth already in motion. That's the first shift. Your base is now doing the heavy lifting. Now layer in your contributions. Say you're adding $20,000 a year through savings, salary increases, extra super contributions. Combined with your returns, you're now adding $55,000 to $70,000 to your net worth every single year. Suddenly the timeline doesn't look anything like the first half. Instead of another 20 years, you're looking at 7 to 10 years to go from $500,000 to $1 million. In strong markets, potentially faster. That's the math most people never see. But the numbers alone don't tell the whole story. Because there are three forces accelerating you at this stage, and they all hit at once. First, your income is higher. By the time most Australians reach $500,000, they're in their 30s or 40s, earning more than they ever did in their 20s. Which means bigger, more consistent contributions going in. Second, your assets are diversified. You're no longer betting on one thing. You might have property equity, superannuation, and shares or ETFs, all compounding simultaneously. Not one engine, multiple, all running at the same time. Third, your behavior improves. This one is the most underrated of all. Once you've built $500,000, you've proven something to yourself. You understand money. You understand discipline. You understand delayed gratification. You're less likely to panic, less likely to make emotional decisions, more likely to stay consistent. And consistency is the only thing that lets compounding do its job. This isn't theory. This is happening right now across Australia. Someone with $300,000 in property equity, $150,000 in super, and $50,000 in investments is already sitting at $500,000. Their property growing at 4 to 6% annually. Their super and growth assets returning 7 to 9%. Their ETFs delivering similar numbers. All of it pushing their net worth forward, every year, without them needing to double their effort. That's why the jump to $1 million feels different. Because you're no longer dragging your money uphill. Your money is pulling you forward. But here's where most people quietly sabotage themselves. They hit $500,000, and they relax. The lifestyle upgrades arrive. Bigger house, better car, nicer holidays. And the gap between what they earn and what they invest, starts to close. That gap is everything. Because that gap is the fuel. Close it, and the timeline stretches. The acceleration dies. What could have taken 7 years now takes 15. The second mistake is just as costly. Fear. They've built something real, and now they're terrified of losing it. So they shift into cash, term deposits, conservative portfolios. It feels responsible. It feels safe. But at this stage, safety kills growth. You still need growth assets, shares, property, equity, to keep compounding working. This is where strategy matters more than effort. So let's answer the actual question. How fast can it happen? Best case, strong market, high contributions, disciplined behavior, $500,000 to $1 million in 5 to 7 years. Average case, steady returns, consistent investing, 7 to 10 years. Worst case, lifestyle creep, low contributions, poor asset allocation, 10 to 15 years. Same starting point, completely different outcomes. And the difference isn't luck, it's decisions. Here's the part that reframes everything. Once you hit $1 million, the jump to $2 million is even faster. Because now your base is larger, your returns are larger, and the compounding curve gets steeper still. This is why wealth feels impossible at the start, and almost inevitable later. The hardest part was always the first $500,000. After that, momentum takes over. So here's what I want you to take away. $500,000 isn't a milestone. It's a launch pad. It's the point where your money starts working, your timeline compresses, and your growth accelerates. But only if you stay in the game. Keep the gap. Keep investing. Keep your assets working. Because the difference between reaching $1 million in 7 years versus 15 years has nothing to do with what you did before $500,000. It's entirely about what you do after it. If this gave you clarity on your next move, subscribe and turn on notifications. New videos every week. See you in the next one.